Basketball has really consumed my life for a year, so I feel like it'll be good for me to kind of reflect back on everything that's happened. Like, I feel like I didn't even have time to really reflect on my college career because it ended so fast. I feel like taking some time to myself and really enjoying that and reflecting back.
There's no place for it, and we've been professional throughout the whole entire thing, but I've never been called the things that I've been called on social media.
Caitlin Clark has stunned the basketball world with a shocking announcement. She's stepping away from the game until April. The news sent shockwaves through the league, leaving arenas quieter without her presence. In the meantime, Alyssa Thomas is making her voice heard, pushing back against the slurs hurled by some of Clark's fans. But the biggest jolt? 200 long days. That's how long we'll have to wait before Caitlin Clark returns to competitive play. The question is, what unfolds in her absence?
For putting up such a great fight tonight and for battling back again and again and again all season long. Let me thank Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston and Kelsey Mitchell and all the rest for refusing to say die, refusing to lose, fighting back again and again and again and playing at a much higher level.
Fans were left stunned after the last game. Caitlin Clark was slammed to the floor with force, the crowd gasped, the cameras lingered, and yet, there was no whistle, no foul, nothing. How could that be? The explanation feels almost too clear. This wasn't just any player hitting the hardwood. It was Caitlin Clark. And that changes everything. Or does it?
This group accomplished that, a lot of people probably didn't think was possible, one, to start the season, and two, after the start we had to the season. So, yeah, it'll definitely be probably a little weird for me over the course of the first couple weeks, and then I'm sure I'll get bored and pick up a basketball again. So,
Alyssa Thomas left the court visibly frustrated. Sure, her team came out on top, but her emotions told a different story. She didn't hold back, calling out Fever fans for the way they treated her. But here's the twist: when Angel Reese leveled her weeks ago, Alyssa stayed silent. Not a word. Now, with Caitlin Clark involved, the outrage is loud. Why the double standard? What's really at play here?
That are going to degrade us and call us names. I mean, we already see what's happening in the world and what we have to deal with in that aspect. And, we come to play basketball for our job and it's fun, but we don't want to go to work every day and have social media blown up over things like that. It's uncalled for, and something needs to be done, whether it's, them checking their fans or...
The biggest question now centers on Caitlin Clark's decision to step away after a record-breaking rookie season, a pivotal moment in her career. For more than 200 days, the WNBA will press on without its brightest star. Analysts are scrambling to assess what this means for the Indiana Fever and for the league as a whole. By choosing rest over overseas competition or 3-by-3 play, Clark has drawn a clear line in the sand. Some see it as a risky gamble. Others call it a stroke of brilliance. But one thing is undeniable: the future of women's basketball feels different now. After all, this is a player who logged 81 games in just 324 days, tallying nearly 3,000 minutes. She wasn't just competing, she was carrying the league on her shoulders. And now, her voice has gone quiet.
By Simone Augustus. However, there is a caveat. Augustus set the mark back in 2006 when the WNBA regular season.
Let's rewind to that final game. This wasn't just another matchup, it was playoff basketball, where every possession had the power to shift history. Facing the powerhouse Connecticut Sun, Caitlin Clark stood under the brightest spotlight of her young career. The odds were stacked against her, yet she delivered 25 points, 9 assists, and the poise of a seasoned veteran. Still, the night ended in heartbreak. Again and again, she created golden opportunities, threading passes, setting up teammates, only to watch those shots clang off the rim. It wasn't just misfortune, it was a harsh reminder. Caitlin Clark can't carry it all by herself. And that raises the question, when next season comes, with everything on the line once more, what will be different?
Solid year, but for me, the fun part is, like, I feel like I'm just scratching the surface, and I'm one that's nitpicking every single thing I do. And I know I want to, help this franchise get even better, help my teammates get even better, be better for my teammates. And I know there's a lot of room for me to continue to improve. So that's what excites me the most. I feel like I can continue to get a lot better. And before we know it, I'm sure we'll...
The weight of that playoff battle didn't fall on Caitlin Clark alone. It pressed on an Indiana Fever team that had weathered a season of highs and lows. Against the battle-tested Connecticut Sun, every mistake carried the threat of disaster. But Caitlin wasn't built to fade. From the opening whistle, she attacked, driving to the rim, pulling up with fearless confidence, and keeping her team alive when few believed they had a chance. The question lingered, could one rising star really carry an entire franchise against a powerhouse?
It wasn't what it is. The quality of basketball may have been up to snuff, and you had somebody as popular as Cheryl Swoops, who had her own signature shoe, had to deal with Nike and all of this other stuff. But the bottom line...
The Fever's playoff exit may have stung, but Caitlin Clark's rookie season was nothing short of historic. In her very first year, she established herself as one of the brightest stars the WNBA has ever seen. Night after night, defenses built entire schemes to contain her. Coaches adjusted rotations, doubled her, trapped her, and still, she found ways to shine. Her scoring electrified arenas. Her passing unlocked teammates. Her very presence turned Indiana into must-watch basketball. She wasn't just the heart of the Fever, she was the pulse of the league. But as every eye followed her every move, one question loomed: how long can a rookie shoulder that kind of pressure?
Fun watching Caitlin Clark's rookie season, which is now over. The Indiana Fever knocked out of the postseason by the Connecticut Sun in a 2-game sweep. And so we got to see the carryover from Iowa transition to the pro game, her ability to help develop a team's cohesion and chemistry. And we saw that work so well as the season went on. Clearly brought, like a magnet, phenomenal attention to the league, bringing new fans, a committed fan base, not just in her home arena, but bringing fans to away arenas and packing the houses and increasing different venues from smaller to larger because of their presence.
Her deep range was devastating. Time and again, Caitlin Clark pulled up from well beyond the arc shots most players wouldn't dare to take. She buried with ruthless precision, forcing defenders to chase her far from the basket and opening lanes for the Fever. She slashed inside with speed and craft, but she was never just a scorer. Her vision made her one of the league's most complete playmakers, threading passes no one else even saw. 9 assists in her final game only told part of the story. Countless missed shots by teammates left behind what could have been an even greater masterpiece. Beyond the numbers, her true weapon was leadership. When the pressure mounted, her teammates turned to her, and she answered, whether with a dagger 3, a clutch stop, or simply a steadying presence in the storm. For a rookie, it was unheard of. For Caitlin Clark, it was expected. But expectations always come with a cost.
Fans, her fans, the Iowa fans, now the Indiana fans that are like, they ride for her. And I respect that respectfully, but sometimes it's very disrespectful. I think there's a lot of racism when it comes to it, and I don't believe...
After that relentless grind, her decision came as no surprise. Unlike so many WNBA players who jet overseas to chase a paycheck and keep their rhythm sharp, Caitlin Clark said no. Her body had absorbed enough. Her mind needed space. 81 games. Nearly 3,000 minutes. A marathon disguised as a rookie year. Overseas money might tempt, but what's money compared to longevity? Caitlin understood the truth: push too far, and the consequences are permanent. So she stepped back, not as a sign of weakness, but as a declaration. Rest is her weapon. Now,
will Caitlin Clark come into the WNBA and do what she's doing right now? Immediately? Absolutely not.
It wasn't just overseas leagues she turned down. Caitlin Clark also passed on the rising stage of 3x3 basketball, an arena tailor-made for stars with quick handles and endless creativity. The pace is blistering, the spotlight unrelenting. Yet Caitlin chose differently. She wasn't chasing highlights, she was chasing recovery. For someone so young, it was a bold, almost defiant move. many athletes fear that rest means fading into the background. Caitlin sees it the other way. Stepping back today ensures dominance tomorrow. She isn't just protecting her body, she's safeguarding her future. And when she returns, it won't be as a rookie gasping for breath, but as a sharpened blade ready to carve through the league once more. The only question is, when the lights come back on, will anyone be ready for the storm she brings?
Fourth in betting odds on being MVP of the WNBA. These people are so disrespectful and so unknowledgeable and so stupid.
All season long, one frustration followed Caitlin Clark: the silent whistles. She drove hard to the rim, absorbed contact, took hits on the perimeter, yet time and again, the referees stayed quiet. For one of the league's brightest stars, it was maddening. Clark expected the respect given to elite players, but instead, she was too often left on the wrong side of no calls. The question is, how long can she endure this quiet bias before it finally boils over?
And then I went and hit the backboard, and he told me it was disrespectful to the game of basketball. So I don't know, it reminded me of the technical that I got in college where I said damn it, where it's like a personal frustration. Had nothing to do with my team, had nothing to do with their reffing, had nothing to do with other team. It was just because I'm a competitor and I felt like I should have been.
Caitlin Clark's final game against the Connecticut Sun became a showdown not just with her opponents, but with the invisible hand of officiating. She absorbed multiple hard fouls, hit the floor again and again, and still, the whistle stayed silent. Fans, coaches, and analysts alike watched in disbelief. The contrast was glaring. NBA legends like LeBron James or WNBA stars like A.J. Wilson often get the benefit of the doubt. Clark, somehow, did not. Then came the off-court drama. A heckler targeted her relentlessly, testing her composure. For most of the game, Caitlin stayed calm, unshaken. But eventually, she broke, pointing the fan out to arena staff and having them removed. It was a rare glimpse of frustration from a player defined by poise under pressure. With Caitlin now out of the playoffs, the entire WNBA landscape shifted. Longtime rival Angel Reese suddenly found her path to a championship clearer. Clark's absence isn't just a setback for Indiana, it reshapes the balance of power across the league.
It all started from the national championship game, and I've been dealing with this for 2 years now. And understanding, like, yeah, negative things have probably been said about me, but honestly, I'll take that because look where women's basketball is. People are talking about women's basketball, but you never would think that we'd be talking about women's basketball. I'll look back in 20 years.
Caitlin Clark was never just a player, she was a reason to watch. Her highlight reels became must-see television, a magnet for fans and viewership alike. Now, with her sidelined, the WNBA faces a daunting question: how do you sustain momentum without one of your brightest stars? The league has made tremendous strides in marketing, broadcasting, and accessibility, but players like Clark are the glue that holds that progress together. Without her, attendance and engagement risk slipping, and the league feels the weight of her absence, a stark reminder of just how pivotal she had become.
But when I get between the lines, if friends or anything, if my teammate right here went to play for another team, I'm going to be competitive. I'm going to talk trash to her just because I'm super competitive and that's what we do. But off the court, we're going to kick in and have fun. So I think that's a part of the game, and just trying to normalize, like, trash talking is okay, but not taking it personal off the court. And obviously that has become a thing.
Caitlin Clark's impact stretches far beyond points, assists, or minutes on the floor. She's a cultural force, a trailblazer who pulled new fans into the WNBA and reignited an energy the league hadn't felt in years. Her absence leaves a void, not just for the Fever, but for the league and its growing audience. Yet if there's one constant with Caitlin Clark, it's resilience. She will return stronger. Her talent, drive, and relentless work ethic all but guarantee a comeback that will electrify arenas once more. This isn't an ending, it's a pause before the storm. And when she steps back onto the court, the WNBA will once again feel her unstoppable force. For fans, the countdown has already begun. The real excitement is only just beginning.